Hello everyone, I'm happy to continue today our series, Why We Collect, Who We Collect. My special guest is Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. What a great teacher, what a great collector. Today he's going to talk to us and educate us a little bit about Warren Spahn, why he loves to collect them. Let's see what he had to say. I put 5 questions to him. I hope you find it interesting as I did.
Hi, Dayne. Thanks for having me back on your show and giving me the opportunity to talk about one of my favorite players of all time, which is Warren Spahn. So thank you for the first question. And why is Warren Spahn special to me? I think it's a number of reasons. One is that he was a left-handed pitcher. When I played, I was a left-handed pitcher when I pitched through and including 4 years of college. I like to think that Warren Spahn was a little bit of a motivation. And part of the reason I know about him, even though he retired probably when I was about, 3 years old, is that my dad was a big Warren Spahn fan. My dad's originally from Boston. He was a Braves fan. His father, my grandfather, grew up about a mile from Braves Field. And so we were educated on the glorious nature of Warren Spahn very early in our lives. So that's why he's special to me. Thanks for the question, Dayne. Where do I rank Warren Spahn among the top pitchers of all time? I would say overall, he's probably top 20 in terms of pitchers. In terms of left-handed pitchers, as you know, he has the highest number of wins all time, 363 of a left-handed pitcher. I would say he's in the top 5 of left-handed pitchers. He doesn't have the glorious stats like Grove or the short-term dominance like Sandy Koufax. He doesn't have the dominance and the Cy Youngs like Randy Johnson. But of course, the Cy Young didn't exist for half of his career, and the other half of his career was only one player in each league. He did, in fact, win the 57 Cy Young. So I think Spahn is top 5 lefties of all time. Is he first? Probably not. I would have to say Grove, but certainly he's right up there with the best of them. That's nice. I want to show some cards, Dayne. So thanks for asking me to show my top 3 Warren Spahn cards. Now, bear in mind that my answer may be different tomorrow. I've got a bunch of them back over here. So I picked out the ones that hit my fancy today. So the first one is the 1954 Red Heart, which interestingly enough has a green background. It is a BVG 7, so I'm not sure what it would translate to in terms of an SGC or PSA grade, but this is a glorious card from a glorious year, and I'm really happy to have it. I think it's a very flattering pose from him, and the colors and the design are terrific. Speaking of 1954, I also love the 1954 Topps card. As you can see, I actually got this really cheap in a raw copy, sent it into SGC, and they gave me the 5, which I was happy about. Beautiful color. It's got a nice smile. He's holding the ball there, and it's got a little action photo behind. So the 54 Topps is a really cool card. And then my number 1 Spahn card, and this won't change with a change in the day where I might come in and pull his leaf out or pull one of his other 50s cards out. The 49 Bowman is going to remain my number 1 Warren Spahn card of all time. I just love the bursting red on this, the up close of that high leg kick, and just fantastic card of a fantastic set. So those are my 3 top choices of my Warren Spahn collection. So my favorite Warren Spahn story has to do with his service in the military. He pitched a little bit in 1942, maybe, 3 or 4 games for the Braves. And then he went into the service, and Spahn was in the Army. He was actually in the artillery, I believe, from 43, 44, and 45. And he actually was sent to Europe and was injured in the Battle of the Bulge. He got, I believe, a Purple Heart and several other medals for his bravery and, for being injured in battle. And so, he lost 3 full years in the military. And when he came back, he would be asked later on, because he pitched many years after that, but he was much older. He was asked, do you think you would have had a better career if you had had those 3 years back where you were in the military? And Spahn's answer was interesting. It was like, I learned so much about discipline, keeping, care of my body, just being sort of one of those people that had a competitive frame of mind. And he said, I'm badly misquoting him and not really getting the words that he used, but the essence was that what he learned and what the military did for him and made him in those 3 years actually made his career, because it turned him into a bulldog, and a guy who was only about 5'10", became one of the best pitchers in baseball for the better part of 2 decades. So that's my favorite story, is that he didn't give it as an excuse. He said it actually made him better. So that is my favorite Warren Spahn story. Well, for your final question, I'm happy to give you an answer to this, which is, have I finished collecting Spahn cards? The answer is no. I have most of all the flagship except for 1 year, which I'm not going to talk about. It's a card that I don't like, which is why I'm not going to buy it. But there's a couple of non-flagship cards that he has that I don't have. The 1947 Tip Top Bread is a pre-rookie. I mean, he was already they consider 48 Bowman his rookie card, even though he'd been in the league a couple of years at that point. But 1947, Tip Top Bread issued a series of cards for a number of different teams, and the Braves cards are short printed. And in particular, Spahn's card is tough to get, and I there are versions of it out there. I've seen them; they're very expensive. I was just tracking one on eBay, deciding if I was going to bid on it, but pre-national, I figured I probably shouldn't, and it went for like $2,200, and I think it was a 2 or a 3. So we're talking serious comic card, even in low grade. The number one graded example of it is a 5. It's been at Strongsville both years I've gone to Strongsville, and the price is $10,000. And the dealer is actually a really good dealer. It's just that card is kind of a one of a kind at this point. The other card, which I frustratingly have not been able to get, even though it's also out there, is a food issue from 1959. The Milwaukee Braves are featured in a set called Lake to Lake Dairy. And the Spahn card is one that's been very elusive to me, and at some point I will get it. It's also not particularly cheap. There was a real beater one in the collector investor auctions a couple months ago that I missed out on, and it was not a comma number, but it was a pretty high number. So those are the 2 major cards that I'm looking for when it comes to my Warren Spahn collection. So I'm not done collecting them, and I probably never will be. There's always upgrades. There's always coins and bazooka cards and things like that. But those 2 main ones are the ones that I still need to get. So Dayne, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate the opportunity to come on your channel again and talk about the great Warren Spahn. Take it easy.
Did you learn something? I told you he's an interesting guy. Thank you, Dan. We really appreciate you. Join us next time at Classy Sports Cards.